running orders for this year's semi-finals have been released, and in this video I'll be giving some of my thoughts on them. Who's opening, who's closing, who's been helped by the order, and who's been done over. Opening the first semi-final, and hence Eurovision 2023 as a whole, is Norway. Many wrote Alessandra off as the opener, arguing that producers would want such a strong contender later. However, I felt that she does make the perfect opener. Queen of Kings is a strong and popular entry that has already gone viral, so many of the viewers may recognize the song, and therefore stick around to see what else is on offer. In the second slot, and the so-called death slot, is Malta. Personally, I really enjoy their entry, and however much I'd love to see the busker in the grand final, I'm not holding my breath. Especially being so early in such a tough semi-final. The only glimmer of hope is that it does seem like the kind of song that televoters may go for, and of course, there are no juries to drag it down. Following up is Serbia, Latvia and Portugal. Personally, I was surprised that we have to wait until Song 4 for a relatively laid-back song or anything even resembling a ballad. But then again, Serbia does have a chill vibe of its own, just in a very out there way. And I can understand why producers won't want Serbia and Portugal together, as they are both theatrical pieces with props. Latvia could suffer being sandwiched between Serbia and Portugal. But for those who have a taste for something more mainstream, it may come as a welcome catch of breath. Rounding off the first half are Holland and Croatia. I had expected these two to be earlier, to be honest. Holland is universally popular and Croatia is incredibly divisive. Maybe Croatia has such a stage spectacle planned that producers have great faith in it and want as many as possible to see it. Moving on to the second half, we have another anti-war song, but this time from Switzerland. For those who can't stand the chaos that is Mamashuk, Watergun may come as a welcome relief and therefore seem quite appealing. Then we have three high-impact songs. Israel with Noah's impressive dance break, Moldova's ethnic folk banger, and Sweden's Queen Loreen. There may be an ad break before or after song 11, which would suggest Loreen still has some big staging, whether it's her Panama toaster or not. Azerbaijan were pretty much dead on arrival before, and slotted between Sweden and Czechia. Unfortunately, they're liable to being totally forgotten. Netherlands are also in trouble. Burning Daylight is very much a jury song anyway, but could get swallowed up by Czechia and Finland. On the flip side, being the penultimate act could give Mia and Diane a small enough boost to scrape into the final. Finland closing makes total sense. It's high impact, highly anticipated, and there'll be extra time to dismantle the staging. Now on to semi-final 2, and we have Denmark kicking things off. Riley wasn't really touted as an opener by most, but I can see why producers have made this choice, especially if the staging is colorful like the music video. Performing second is Armenia, which is a total shock. Songs that are unlikely to qualify are usually placed here, but Armenia is widely expected to do so. This could well be a rare year in which we see a death slot qualifier. I can't help but wonder if they got Armenia and third spot Romania the wrong way round. The rest of this first half seems slightly odd to me, as two of the strongest songs, in my opinion, have been bunged in the middle, namely Estonia in spot 4 and Cyprus in spot 6. However, some would argue that Iceland is good, I suppose. With Belgium performing 5th and Greece 8th, I'd say that this half is very open as to who will qualify. In the second half we have Poland, whose qualification could go either way, followed by Slovenia and Georgia. I personally had Slovenia down as the closer, but I don't think this slot will particularly hurt Joker out. Georgia will really stand out with Ura's big vocals sandwiched between the light rock of Slovenia and San Marino. Austria will stand out anywhere. Albania will stick with people simply because they're a family, and we don't often see family groups perform at Eurovision. I'm hoping to see them advance, so being this late will help. Lithuania also being late is an advantage for them. That, coupled with the fact that the UK's voting in this semi, leads me to the conclusion that Monica's chances of going to the final are slightly greater now. Closing proceedings is Australia, which, just as with Finland, makes for a high-octane finish. Overall, although there were a few surprises, I do think the producers have done a good job of mixing up the songs and artists. I can't wait to see this all play out in Liverpool this May.